Hey guys, McJeffries here, and welcome back to the McJeffries network on OpenTTD. And you join me on a DMU service, which is actually got passengers on board, has actually got passengers on board, let me get my English right, but is actually on a non-commercial run right now. It's running from Hadborough Bay down to GSJ, and the reason it's doing that is because, and I want to teach you guys a little bit of a lesson here, don't release too many trains that are new at the same time. Now you might remember the way I've been running this series is I'll release a series of trains, end the episode, start the new episode, build a new line with the game paused, release another new set of trains, and I'll keep doing that over and over and over and over and over. Don't. It's the simple thing for me to say. Do not do that. Because what you end up with is what exactly happened to me. Not so much down this end of the line, but it impacted on this end of the line. I ended up with all of these trains filling up these platforms, to the point where no other train could actually service the platform, and it was just impossible to have any trains running in and out. It was really, really annoying, really, really frustrating. Ended up with a huge mess. So the first thing I did was got rid of the steam trains. They don't exist anymore. Second thing I did was reduce the number of trains on the river line. That's now been reduced dramatically, and I can't actually... oh, there we go. There's some. So these little ones are trundling along now. There's no semi-fast service on this line anymore. It's all just express only. Not express, what am I talking about? It's all just stopping only. And then the third thing I did was reduce the number of services on this service, which goes up to Farborn, and also reduce the number of trains. Reduce the number of trains and reduce the... oh wait, what did I do? I reduced the number of trains and I set up the schedule to redo, which is what this is doing now. I also updated the trains. That was what I meant to say. I've updated the trains. So now we've got more modern trains. We've got sprinters running up and down the track rather than bog standard metro camels. The other thing I did was reconfigured this line here slightly. So the express trains come in on the far right hand side and the local trains come in on the sort of centre tracks here. That's been done so that the trains that come in here tend to then go into the storage and the depot, so they don't have to cross over the express lines in order to be able to do that. Which I think actually creates a nice, easier route for the trains to run on. Are these both on the same route? They're not. Okay. So it's interesting that they were so close together. It's also interesting that this one's empty. Oh dear. But yeah, that's running smoothly now, so that's good. The other area was at Laughing Way. There's a bit of a problem. Dartbourne is running very smooth indeed. And Dartbourne is going to be the feature of one of our services that we'll be setting up today. But yes, as I said, Laughing Way, which is all the way down here, was an issue. It's not so much now, but it was an issue. Again, these trains here that were brand new were holding up the other trains. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. It looks as though you're running okay. I think you're running late, but in terms of actually running, you are doing okay. Same with this one. I imagine you're running very late. Oh no, you're currently running on time. But it's the same service, as you can see. So this one needs to get out of the way, because I imagine there's a couple in here that are being held up by all of this. So okay, it's sort of working. It's sort of working. My phone misinterpreted what I said then. So one of the disadvantages of having an Android phone is for some reason it keeps hearing me say OK Google, like it just did then, even though I haven't actually said said phrase. Bit strange. Bit strange. It does it when I watch YouTube videos as well, which is very odd. Also, if you can hear that grinding noise in the background, I'm not actually sure if Audacity's picking it up. It doesn't look like it is. But if you can hear it, I apologise for that. It's we have a gardener that comes in every so often now, so that's what you can hear. It's just him doing his job. Does a very nice job though. Highly recommended. But anyway, we've got the new trains currently operating from New Pratfield Depot, which actually needs that added to it, so we know how long it is. I don't really know why this had to be 9 tiles. I think it was just because it was the space that we had available. But that's now sort of operational, up and running. I could also do with moving that signal back one and having a crossover here. At the moment we only have like 2 or 3 lines available if you come in from Denwell Valley. Also, Denwell Valley seems to be very popular in terms of people changing trains. That's interesting to see as well. That is very interesting to see. But today we are going to continue with our expansion. We're going to be heading down this way through New Mundingworth Falls, through Great Fruitborough, and then down. I think this one will terminate, this new section will terminate over here at Flabra, Blubla, whatever it's called. And then the next episode will carry on down this way again. So let's get started, shall we? It's really good. I like this plan because I can actually see now where these lines are going to go, and I don't have to make it up on the fly anymore. Big fan of that. So let's, as I say, let's get going. Let's build this line. I can hear my brother playing his Xbox as well. He, let's say he gets quite emotional with the game. That's probably the most diplomatic way of saying it. I can hear the screaming from here, and he's 2 rooms away, so that gives you an idea. Anyway, that's totally irrelevant to today's episode, so let's not bring that up. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate me talking about it anyway. I'm just going to carve a little bit of a hole through here so we can get a station down here at New Mundingworth Falls. Once again, there's no actual waterfall in sight, so it's a bit of a misdemeanor name. I think I said before that we wouldn't have a station at this town. It was one of these I said we were going to miss out. It might have been Great Fruitborough I said we were going to miss out. But, I don't know. I don't see the harm in having a station here. Not particularly. I need to do that. God, that was a weird noise. I make weird noises from time to time, especially when I'm in deep thought. Those of you who've watched this series regularly, you'll know that I'm bringing back the Minecraft series, and I've actually recorded the first 2 episodes of that. But I've been doing a lot of AFKing and off-camera work. I just find myself sitting there going all the time because I'm just deep in thought about what I'm going to do next. And it's a good thing I'm not recording at those moments because you don't want to hear that. I mean, you've had to listen to it just now because I've done it for you, but you know, as I say, I'm in deep thought a lot on Minecraft as I'm deciding, sort of prioritising what needs to be done first, what needs to be done second, and all that kind of stuff. And it ends up not sounding particularly nice. So it's one of those things, when you're deep in thought, you don't really notice exactly what you're doing because you're deep in thought, and then suddenly it's like, oh, probably shouldn't be making that noise. That kind of thing. I think I'm overthinking it again. Whoops, no, I didn't want to do that. That was game lag kicking in. Do not want to... Look at this, Super Sprinter. British Rail Class 155 Super Sprinter. Bear in mind, we've currently got Sprinters running. And they do, I think it's 90 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour. This only does 76. Granted, it doesn't cost that much more to run, but I don't think it's worth it right now. I might introduce it on new services, but certainly not existing ones. That would just be totally pointless. So absolutely no way am I going to do that. Right. A lot of this track is going to be like straight lines. There are going to be some curves here and there. Like there was that chicane going into the first station on the line. But, you know, I think the way I planned this bit out was this would be where the express trains really get up to speed and start galloping along. And even the sort of stopping trains, they have an opportunity to get up to a good speed. Start racking up the miles. See, if I do that to there, we'll have a little bit of a lakeside section here, which I'm a big fan of. I like scenery as well. Might not seem that way when I'm carving holes through the landscape like I'm doing right now, but I do like scenic routes. There's a preserved railway that I used to go on in Australia, and I always forget what it's called. But I know that one of the stations, I think it's one of the stations on the line, is called Pinjarra. I think that's the one. It's in Western Australia, and I really should remember the name of it for this story. But that's really, really scenic. It climbs up the mountains, and it's the first time in my life, really, that I heard a steam engine properly struggle to get up a hill. It does happen in England. I've talked about the Lickey Incline before, but this was you know, a proper struggle. Steam spewing out of the top of the engine as it was really trying to get traction. And the sound is just majestic. It's awesome. But that's a very scenic route. It goes through the forests, up the mountain, and yeah, it's just a nice route. So if I remember the name of it, I'll mention it in a future episode. I wish I could look it up, but my laptop's still out of commission. But yeah, it's a highly recommended. I think there's only like 1 or 2 properly preserved railways in Western Australia. So if you look it up, it's like 45 minutes to an hour away from Perth to the south. So if anyone who watches this lives in Australia and knows what I'm talking about, feel free to drop a comment. Or if you've been to Australia and you know what I'm talking about, basically if you know what I'm talking about, just drop a comment and let me know. Anyway, we're approaching our next town. Once again, we've got a bit of a lakeside run. Nice scenic area. I think we're going to go down on the west side of Lentfield here. We're sort of on the plains now. We've been through the hills and the forest. Now we're on the plains. Nice flat section. Again, this is where the high-speed express trains can really start to let the gears wind. Just open the tap and let her roar. And it looks as though our express trains are doing their job now. The semi-fast services anyway. I like those semi-fasts. I like the way they look. I like the way they run. I like the way they don't actually hold up the express trains too much. Sometimes there's a little bit of a hold up, but not too much. And that's what it's for, really. Although here there seems to be an issue. What station is that? That must be Laughing Way again. Right, so we miss out Renpool. I am not going to stop at Renpool. Go away. It's another super sprinter. That was the 156 that time. They're determined. Whoever's selling these trains, they are determined that I'm going to buy a super sprinter. That's the 3rd time, I think, I've had one pitched to me. Maybe the 4th. They are absolutely 100% determined that I'm going to buy some super sprinters by the end of today's episode. And to be honest, I was considering it, but now I'm not so sure. You know, it's one of these things. Someone nags you enough and you start saying no. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. They could have just lost themselves a sale. It's like cold calling. It basically is cold calling, because I imagine that's one of the ways they're contacting my company and saying, hey, we've got this new train, try it out. And there's only so many ways you can say no thank you. Right, we are approaching target destination. And there's a bit of a climb back up the hill in order to get into Flaborough. I've chosen the wrong one again. Just looking at Flaborough. Flaborough looks like another kind of junction station. I don't want them all to be junctions, that's the thing. I think at the moment I'll just make it a bog standard station, and then in the future, if necessary, I'll turn it into a junction station, or you know, a bit more of a mainline station. Oh, that's where it is. It was waiting to go into the depot. That's fine. I don't mind it waiting to go in, as long as it's not the first train and it's auto-filling. I don't mind it waiting to go in the depot. But even then, actually, it only takes up 1 platform. It's not that big a deal. Not really. Could be worse. Right. That's a good spot there for a station. Depends how the signals go, of course, but let's say that's not a bad spot. Again, we've got to climb up in the hills here. So this will be where the taps get turned off slightly. Actually, no, the taps will get turned on full. It's the train that will turn off slightly. It won't get its full mobility going. Down the hill, it'll be like a runaway mine train. Especially if I put a sharp corner at the end here, like I'm going to. This would be a bit of a hair raiser. For those of you who like roller coasters, you'll be aware of one of the first sort of what's now considered a modern day roller coaster, or even what's just considered an old-timey roller coaster, was a gravity railroad in the USA. And it was originally designed to bring minerals down from the mountains to the bay, and then I think it was to a river actually, and then onto a boat to be taken away. But eventually they started building passenger cars and allowed tourists on board. And you know, I've seen pictures of it. There's no video of it because it's Victorian times, but I've seen pictures of it, and oh my life, does it look frightening. Even for me, I consider myself a bit of a thrill seeker, but even that for me is a bit of a no-no. It looks very extreme. And yet people paid. They paid good money to go on this. It's not even a ride. They paid good money to go on this, basically like a railroad car that just rolled downhill. It had a brakeman, I think. I think it had a brakeman. Wouldn't have really worked as a venture if it didn't have one. But it had a brakeman, and it had steam engines, stationary steam engines that pulled you up and down the incline at either end. But wow, I mean, it looks extreme. I think it's called the Mach-Chunk, something like that. I'm butchering its name, I know, but it's along those lines anyway. And I'm trying to remember what state it was in. Again, if anyone knows, just drop a comment. Simple as that. But yeah, it looks frightening. Yeah, as I say, people paid. They were willing to pay to go on this experience. It was brand new at the time, and it inspired what's now a roller coaster. But that's what this section of track's going to be like. It's going to be like a roller coaster ride. I should have this as one of my my slogans on my channel. Actually, is like Jeffries, always learning. Because I feel like every episode I have some new piece of information to give out, like a lecture almost. Although I shouldn't say that because I'm still off uni and I don't want to be thinking about lectures. But yeah, I like to learn new things every day, and I'm sure there's people out there who are the same. And if I can educate, I remember one episode saying it wasn't a physics lesson. It wasn't meant to be, but I think it sort of turned into one in the end. That's what I end up doing, unfortunately. I just talk like I am now. Anyway, we're nearly there. We are nearly there. Just got to get down this hill. If I do that, I put these tunnels in here. I think the way the signalling works is it does actually go through the tunnel. It's not just a signal at either end. I don't know whether the distance is the same as what it's meant to be, but it does go through. So I think that's pretty cool. It just makes building tunnels a hell of a lot easier now. I should probably pause the game whilst I'm doing this. I should also say, the time at the moment, it says 1988, but pretend it's not 1988. Originally I was going to only build on camera and things like that, but it's kind of got away from me a little bit. So what I'm going to do is ignore the game time and make up my own time. So in my time, we're sort of still in the 70s, maybe the early 80s. You know, it's only just begun. So that we have these new advancements in technology still available to us in the future. So eventually this track will be electrified. I might electrify up to GSJ. I might leave this actually just as diesel only, because I've got some pretty good diesel trains now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You go there. Which means this one goes there, I believe. And you're every 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go there. I think that means this one goes there. I think it goes like that. We end up with these lovely staggered stations again. Right, let's get some platforms built, shall we? Start off with this one. 1 and 1. Perfect. We'll pop you there. Is this Oh, Chetburg. I thought this was Chutburg. Thought we'd have another station from the old series then. That'd be exciting. In a very... I think I've just sort of noticed over the times that my version of excitement isn't the same as every other person's version of excitement. And there's probably a lot of you out there sitting there thinking, really? This exciting? Probably isn't. I don't know. Certain things get me going. I like glimpses into the past. It's one of the reasons why I started this game back in the past. So, I wasn't alive when the BR Blue era was in full flow. But I would like to imagine what it would have been like during that time. And this game gives me that opportunity. That was a really stupid thing to do, Mark. Yeah, let me just delete some track. That'll do it. So yeah, this, as I say, this gives me an opportunity to actually see what it was like during that time, which I think is pretty cool. You know, I think it's pretty cool. What's also cool is I can now have this going on to the bridge. I think it's pretty nice. I say I'll do a lazy bridge, lazy station here. So, you know, not every station is built the same. Some. Let's see, where I live, the next station on the line I believe is Welham Green and then Brookman's Park, and they're both... Brookman's Park is less so, but Welham Green is like 2 wooden platforms either side of the track, and that's it. It's the most basic station you could ever see in your life, and no trains stop there really. The really slow services do, but nothing else. It does get used. I have seen people get on and off the train there, so it's not like it's not used. It's just a weird station, strange station. Not really sure what it's for. It's one of these ones where trains do call there and like 1 or 2 people might use it, but overall, especially when you consider the cuts during Beeching's time, and then you see a station like that, it does make you think, how is that open when some other stations which were more used are shut? Strange. Very strange. And I've put that bridge in totally the wrong place. So we're going to pretend it never happened. Let's see. If I put you there, so I'll put this one here. And then put those there, and then I'll put some benches. There we go. How far away are we? Let's see, we come down here, this is the flats, and then it's back up into the mountains for Flabler, Flubler. I always forget what it's called. I'm going to forget so many names in this series, guys. It's what I do, unfortunately. I'm really good at remembering pointless facts. I'm not very good at remembering things that actually matter. And I'm one of those people that does the really embarrassing thing where you forget what someone looks like. I'm a absolute sucker for that, and you have to... Although I've learnt the tricks on how to get around that, so it's not too bad. But overall, I'm one of those people. There's a word for it. There's a nice word for it, if anyone suggests anything. There's a nice word for it, and I can't remember what it is. But it's basically for someone who forgets what people look like, basically. The simplest way of describing it. Someone who forgets what people look like. As I say, it's a nice way of describing it, so nothing too crude. It's really frustrating though, as I'm sure you can imagine. Especially when it's someone that you actually get on with, and then you see them the next time and you've just completely blanked and forgotten what they're called. People have done it to me too, you know, it happens. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing, it's awkward, and it's annoying. And I'm completely just going off the subject again. Tell you what I'm going to do, actually. This is something that I've wanted to do. It's something that Zest Husky does as well, and I know why he does it, because it creates a talking point when you're actually recording. Because sometimes when you're building, it can get a little bit like you run out of things to talk about, and you don't want to do it in a time lapse because people have told me many times they don't like time lapses, so I'm not going to keep doing that when people don't like them. But a question of the day or a topic of the day. As you know, this is a daily series, so I would like things to talk about whilst I'm recording episodes. So if there's anything that you want me to discuss whilst I'm building stations, etc., feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. You know, make it something interesting if you can, and don't just be things like talk about High Speed 2, because I think I've had my say on that now, and people agree, people disagree, you know. And I had that little issue of I talked about automated trains, and some people agreed, some people disagreed. People in my own family disagreed with me on that one, which was a little bit frustrating. But you know, I am an opinionated person, and I like talking about my opinion, and I like sharing my opinion with others who have the same opinion. So, if you want me to talk about a particular topic during an episode, drop it in the comments section down below. If it's a good topic, then by all means I will talk about it. And I've just completely buggered that up. There we go. But that just gives me something to talk about during episodes. It doesn't have to be a question per se. It can just be, you know, talk about this. And if it's transport related especially, I will choose it, because it fits in perfectly with what this series is all about, which is becoming a transport tycoon. Funny enough, that is what the name of the game is. So yeah, just give me some ideas, guys. Let me know what you want me to talk about. It's you know, the more subjects, the merrier. If one person suggests more than one subject, it probably won't get done in the same week necessarily, but it will be noted down and done probably the next week's worth of episodes. It's only fair. It's like shout outs as well. If you want me to shout you out, I'm not just going to shout out random people for the sake of it. You know, give me an actual reason to mention your name. But I'm happy to do that if enough people want me to. I don't see why not. I don't see the harm. Let's do a 6x6 station here. In fact, let's do 6x7. There we go. Yeah, you know, if enough people want me to talk about particular subjects, then who am I to say no? That's not what. It's all going wrong. Because I'm so close to the end, it's all going wrong. Replace you with those. Okay, now I want these ones. You're going to go there, there, and there. Like so. And then we're going to go back to single-sided and we're going to fill in the blanks. So, you're going to be, whoops. You're going to be that type. You're going to be that type. Which means all of these are going to be... Actually, let's go for nice-looking ones. Makes no effect on the service whatsoever, but you know, as I say, it just looks nice. Might as well make it look nice, mightn't we? Okie dokie, and then you there. Actually, let's put schedules on this side, and I'll put the CTAs on this side. So we'll go back to Ireland, scroll up to you, and that and that. There we go. And then let's cap this side off. I sort of have an idea for how I want the track to come out of here, but I'll leave that till next time. Right, I want to get some trains running here now. So let's rename this to just Flabra, like that. And there was a couple back here. Yeah, you. Get rid of the woods. Oh. Someone didn't do this properly. I wonder who that was. I could have sworn I held control whilst I put this station in. But then this is the one that I messed up, wasn't it? So that could be what ended up happening. There we go. Right, so that, and bench. That's why it's good to always go back and check these things. So, Pradinghead, Bedborough, Beborough, whatever you were called. Lentfield West, good name. Henningbury, Plarding Hall, Great Footborough East again, good name. You. Chetburg West, and then Hadborough Bay. Perfect. Right. Should we get some trains running? I think we should get some trains running. Let's have a look at this new Sprinter and see just exactly what they want me to do with it. Let's release all these trains first of all. Let's unpause the game as well. So where are you? You must be down here. Okie dokie. So we've got the Sprinter, the Sprinter, the Sprinter, and the Sprinter. Now I think, how big is this? It's only too long. Does it take standard carriages? Do they go in the gap there? No. This is my problem with these particular trains, is they don't look very nice. That one's slightly better. But again, I mean, are there carriages that you can add to it? There probably are, I just don't know where they are on this list. I know there's one that you can add to some of these. Is it this one? No. Not even close. Where is it? Yeah, I think this is sort of not feasible. Let's pause the game again. You just end up with a mess. I mean, I don't even know what that is. Alright, get rid of all of you. Bye-bye. We're going to go up here and we're going to play it safe. We're just going to go stick with what we know. Which in this case is this one. The old Sprinter. We're going to put the high-speed carriages on. Like so. We're then going to clone it. And that goes on the end like that. Perfect. Right, so this is going to do similar to what the other trains do. So it's going to go here. And then it's going to go... Now this one should really start at Denwell Valley. Yeah, we'll do Denwell Valley. And then you've got to go to Denwell West, and then you're going to go to Deffingberg, and then you're going to go to Little Dronninghall, Froningpool, Pronworth, back this way, like so, Deffingberg, Denwell West, Denwell Valley, then you go to Hadborough Bay, and then you start carrying on this way, so Chetburg West, New Mundingworth Falls, Great Fruitborough East, Plardinghall, Henningbury, and you get the idea. It's going to come all the way down this way. Now I'm going to set up 2 services in this episode before the end, so it's going to be a little bit of an extension on how long this episode is going to be. I do have to be careful about dispatching as well. I want to make sure that goes right. Let's see, Letfield West, Henningbury, Plardinghall. See, these routes, I like opening them in sections because they're not actually that long. They're only a few stations long, each one. But in terms of the actual operational flexibility you end up with, it's massive. You know, you end up with loads of new things. It's really cool. Right, so you are no loading, no unloading, because you extend existing services as well. That's the big point that I forget sometimes, is you do end up extending existing services, which is really cool. Tell you what, actually, before you come back to here, let's say you go up to Pronworth again. I think that would make sense. I say Pronworth is going to be a busy station now. It's going to have trains heading towards Guard City and also heading down south. So it's worth having that little extension of the service there. And then Denwell Valley here is going to be no loading. This is going to be no loading, no unloading. And then this is going to be service. Okay, I think that's all of them, right? This is going to be 500 all the way down, except for this one, which is going to be 750. And this one, which is 750. And this one, which is just 50. Okay, autofill. Let's get this into a category, shall we? So let's say you are stopping diesel. We'll say you go from what are you called? Pronworth. And you go down to Flaborough, which is F. You're made up of 8 units. Perfect. Right. So you go there. You're done and ready to go. So we're going to start you, and then we're going to do the second service, which is going to use sprinters as well. And 1, 2. Make sure this is empty. It is. Good. Okay, now this service is going to go from... In fact, let's just do it. So you're going to go Denwell again, up to Denwell West, Deffingberg, Little Dronninghall, Froningpool, Pronworth, Froningpool. All of these ones, you get the idea. Then you're going to come this way to Lenford Junction, and then from here you're going to go all stops like this, Laughing Way, which is not so much of a bottleneck anymore like it was, which is good. It's one of the things that always it cheers me up a little bit now when I see there's problems. Most of it is just temporary, and after a while it will sort itself out. That's the main thing. Right, Fenninghead Cross. You're then going to go via New Winbourne. All of these stations here: Sinningwell Ridge, Little Flunninghead, Penpool South, Rintberg, Fontberg, Charning Hall, Greenford, Gromwell, Sleddingston, round the weird curve, Wenning Way, Trundinghatton. God, it's always longer than I remember. Anyway, you're going to terminate at Dartbourne. We got there eventually, guys. We got there eventually. And then Tonhatton Springs, Flenbridge. All the way back up here. All stopping. Oops, Charning Hall, yep, Fontberg, Rintberg, Penpool South, Little Flunninghead, Sinningwell Ridge East. It's a shame that we can't get a service from Farbourne, but I suppose that's what Little Sinningwell Ridge East is for. It's the connection point between the two. Because, you know, Farbourne itself is quite a big station now, I imagine. Farbourne in town must be quite big. In fact, we could check that quickly. Yeah, it's expanding. I imagine there's a few people. Yeah, nearly 2,500 people waiting. It's quite a lot. Still need to get a connection between these two stations. I'll have to set up a little bus route. I might do that off camera, actually, because it's not crucial to the series. It's just something that I'd like to do. Headingworth Heights, Wenning Hall, Ruffingberg Springs, Avonway Woods, Lenford Junction, and then you're going to go via Denwell all the way back up to... keep forgetting the name. Is it Pronpool? Hang on. Pronworth. Is that a bank? No. I thought that was a bank for a second. Can't be a bank. No. It'd be cool if I did have a bank in here, though. That'd be good for valuables. That's something to come back to. When I start doing industry, valuables is definitely going to be one of the ones that I'm going to do first. I think banks are on here. No? Oh dear. That's why. That's annoying, actually, because banks are worth a lot, normally. There doesn't seem to be an alternative either. That is a shame. That is quite a shame. Anyway, we're back at Denwell. Set this one up. Wow, a lot of stations here. A lot of stations. Your service, your no loading, no unloading. Your no loading. Which I want to check that this one's the same. Yeah, good. Okay, Pronworth is far end. And then this Pronworth is also far end. This is no loading, no unloading. Like that. Timetable wise, you're all going to be 500, except for these ones, which are going to be 750. That one there. This one all the way down here is going to be 750. And you are going to be just 50. Right. Last thing to do is to get this in a group. So you are stopping diesel, Pramborn to Dartbourne, Pramworth, do something worth. You're 8 units long. I will remember the names, guys. There's so many new towns to remember the names of. It's very... Where are you? Oh, you're there. Yeah, there's so many new ones to remember the names of. It'll take me a while, but I'll get there. What? One are you? No, you're in the wrong group. You need to go in that one. No, you need to go... Oh, hang on. Cancel that. Right, you need to go in that one. You need to go in that one. This one needs to go. There we go. Right. You set to autofill? You are now. Is this one set to autofill? Yep. Okie dokie. Start you off. Unpause the game. Release the trains. They should, by themselves, fill up. And then I'll start cloning them and adding more trains. That's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to add the first train onto the route, start it off, let it fill the auto timetable, and then once that's done, I'm going to start adding more and more vehicles to the route and space them out so that it doesn't have to space them out automatically as much. It will still have to do it, just not as much. I'm going to be very mischievous here as well. So let's see, you come down to Hadborough Bay. I'm going to extend this service down this way as well. Which is probably like the least helpful thing to do, but I'm doing it. So you need to be 750. You need to be 750. This needs to be set to autofill. So off camera, I'm going to follow this train on its route. Make sure it gets to where it needs to be. But that just about does it for today's episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. First of all, do not forget, if you want me to talk about something in tomorrow's episode, drop a comment in the comment section down below. It can be anything transport related, it can be anything like High Speed 2, Crossrail. I mean, I said I won't talk about High Speed 2, but it depends what it is. Crossrail is definitely something I'm interested in. Crossrail 2, Thameslink, anything like that around the London area. If you want to head up north, you know, the Ordsdale Curve, Ordsall Curve, would help if I could speak. High Speed 3, anything like that. Flying Scotsman coming back into service. Whatever it might be, guys, let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you very much again for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series, drop some comments down below for ideas for future episodes, as well as ideas for me to talk about. And until next time, I will see you soon.